September 8, 2025. A Los Angeles tow yard. An impounded vehicle that's been sitting untouched for weeks. Gray concrete, faded paint, the kind of car you'd walk past without noticing. Then the smell hits. Unmistakable, suffocating. Police arrive within the hour. When they open the front trunk of the black Tesla, what they discover will eventually involve one of the fastest rising names in music. The remains are severely decomposed, placed deliberately in trash bags. Someone wanted this to disappear forever. It takes dental records to identify her. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, 14 years old. But Celeste was more than her age. She wanted to be a marine biologist. She loved art. She sketched constantly. She had close friends who described her as funny, kind. She had a life. Then her life intersected with someone who would exploit it. Subscribe to When Trust Falls. Turn on notifications so you never miss the moment truth emerges from darkness. Because this is only the beginning. As investigators trace the vehicle's registration, one name comes back. David Anthony Burke. The name means nothing to most detectives at first, but then they realize who he is. David, the platinum-selling artist with millions of Spotify streams, the guy who performed at Coachella. His debut album Withered hit number 13 on the Billboard 200. The guy whose song Romantic Homicide went viral on TikTok. The song about killing someone and feeling no regret. The contrast is impossible to ignore. A successful career, a murdered child. But investigators still had one problem. How did a platinum-selling artist in his 20s end up connected to a missing girl from Lake Elsinore? When they pulled her phone records and traced her digital footprint, they found something nobody expected. A documented relationship, spanning nearly 2 years. And it had started years earlier than anyone suspected. January 2022. Celeste was 11 years old when she met David Anthony Burke. She was just a kid. For nearly 2 years, investigators would later establish nothing sexual happened. Then November 2023 arrived. Celeste was 13. Burke was 18. Something changed that month. The text messages show it. The photographs confirm it. According to prosecutors, that's when a sexual relationship began, between an adult and a child. Over the next 18 months, Celeste was integrated into his world completely. She traveled with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas. She met his family. She spent weekends at his Hollywood Hills home. Her brother Matthew knew about it. Her friends at school knew. People saw them together. They had matching tattoos on their index fingers reading "shh," and Celeste had David tattooed on her ring finger. Why didn't anyone intervene? That question would haunt everyone as the case unfolded. Everyone could see the relationship. Everyone accepted it as normal. That's the deeply disturbing reality of how coercive relationships hide in plain sight. But what no one saw were the text messages. The direct communications between Burke and Celeste revealed something entirely different. Something darker than what anyone around them observed. Burke told her repeatedly they had a future together. He made promises about shared life. But simultaneously, he was pursuing other women. When Celeste discovered this, her jealousy erupted across their conversations. In early 2024, something shifted. Celeste became pregnant with Burke's child. The conversation happened through text messages. She had an abortion. Months later, in August 2024, Celeste texted Burke something that revealed the weight of what had happened. "I care ab to you. I killed my kid for you. I don't like talking about it because it gets me really upset, but I'd do anything to have it back. a teenager grappling with the consequences of a decision made under pressure from an adult. But investigators would discover Burke's tactics went far beyond emotional manipulation. When Celeste's family took her phone away in early 2024, Burke purchased a new cell phone. Then he paid one of her classmates $1,000 to deliver it to her. $1,000. Not to buy something. Not to help someone. To maintain control. To keep a 14-year-old girl connected to him. To prevent her from telling anyone else what was happening. Detectives studying this behavior understood what they were looking at. Systematic isolation. Coercion disguised as romance. Throughout 2024, they broke up and reunited 8 times. 8 cycles. Each reconciliation pulled her deeper. Each separation brought false hope. It never changed. By April 2025, Celeste finally understood. She'd been systematically exploited. An adult had weaponized her trust for sex and control, and she'd reached a breaking point. On April 22, 2025, she made a decision that prosecutors believe sealed her fate. According to court documents, Celeste threatened to expose everything. Go to police. Reveal the photographs. Tell the world about Burke's conduct. End his career. Destroy his life. Her words are documented in text messages. They're explicit. They're clear. They're resolute. Burke's debut album, Withered, was scheduled to release April 25, 2025, just 2 days after April 23rd. His career was positioned for massive expansion. Celeste represented an existential threat to his future. Prosecutors allege Burke responded by inviting her to his Hollywood Hills home on April 23, 2025. Not casually, deliberately. This was calculated. On April 23, 2025, Celeste went to that home. She sent one final text message as her Uber approached. "Girly pop, I'm almost there. Open your door if you're home." She was never seen alive again. What happened inside that house remains the central question of this case. But what happened afterward would be documented in meticulous detail. Police searched Burke's property weeks later. They found purchase receipts. Prosecutors believe these receipts tell a deliberate story. A shovel. Ordered via Postmates on April 24th, the day after Celeste disappeared. Why would someone order a shovel immediately after April 23? Detectives kept digging into his purchase history. Between May 1st and May 5th, they found chainsaws, body bags, an inflatable pool, all ordered using aliases, all delivered to his address. On July 7th, Burke ordered a burn cage. Each receipt documented a specific date. Each purchase reflected what prosecutors describe as premeditation, preparation. His album Withered, released April 25th. 2 days after Celeste's death, Burke performed at festivals. He streamed on social media. He maintained his trajectory, while her dismembered body remained hidden inside a Tesla parked in the Hollywood Hills. For months, her family searched. Her father, Jesus, was desperate. Her mother, Mercedes, was in agony. Every day brought no answers. Then September 8, 2025. Workers at that tow yard opened the front trunk. One discovery stood out immediately. Blue fragments recovered from Celeste's remains were analyzed. Days later, the results came back, and they changed everything. Those fragments matched an inflatable pool at Burke's rental property. Direct physical evidence, linking her body to his home. This wasn't circumstantial anymore. This was forensic proof of contact. But investigators found more. Her phone was the last device connected to the abandoned Tesla before it disappeared from GPS tracking. Surveillance footage showed Burke near the vehicle. Text messages documented her explicit threats to expose him. The timeline was solid. The purchases documented. The motive was clear. On April 16, 2026, David Anthony Burke was arrested without bail. 4 days later, on April 20th, 2026, he was formally arraigned and charged. First-degree murder with special circumstances, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, unlawful mutilation of human remains. He pleaded not guilty to all counts. His attorney, Marilyn Bednarski, immediately filed motions. She challenged chain of custody documentation. She questioned DNA testing procedures. She highlighted gaps in evidence handling. Her strategy was clear: create reasonable doubt. But the prosecution had a different interpretation of the same evidence. Prosecutors presented what they called a critical 21-minute murder timeline. They argued the text messages showed premeditation. Not just abuse, premeditation. They alleged Burke invited her home knowing he would kill her. The preliminary hearing began July 21, 2026. Over 5 days, the courtroom became a battlefield. Forensic experts testified about stab wounds and deliberate dismemberment. Detectives presented receipts, phone records, surveillance footage. Defense attorney Bednarski fought back. She argued the case relied on circumstantial evidence. She claimed the text messages showed Celeste's provocation, not Burke's premeditation. The prosecution countered with precision. Celeste's phone went permanently silent when she arrived at Burke's home. No outgoing messages, no calls, digital silence. It began the moment she walked through that door. Her final text was simple: "Girly pop, I'm almost there. Open her door if her home." Prosecutors allege Burke stabbed her to death when she arrived. On July 28, 2026, the judge made her ruling. She found probable cause on all counts. Burke will stand trial. But she emphasized something critical. The probable cause standard at a preliminary hearing is much lower than the threshold at trial. A jury will need guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The judge ordered that Burke continue to be held without bail. Trial is set to begin within 90 days. His next court appearance is August 10th. A pretrial filing date is scheduled for August 31st. Prosecutors are currently weighing whether to seek the death penalty. But for Celeste Rivas Hernandez's family, the trial represents something different. A chance for the truth about April 23, 2025 to be tested publicly. An opportunity for her story to be heard. Her father Jesus waited 5 months to identify his daughter's remains through dental records. Her brother Matthew carries the weight of knowing what happened. Her mother Mercedes grieves not just the loss, but the years of exploitation that preceded it. An attorney for Rivas Hernandez's family said they are relieved the case will move forward to trial. It all started with one abandoned vehicle in a Los Angeles tow yard, a Tesla that had been sitting forgotten for weeks. One worker noticing a smell. One discovery that unraveled a story of exploitation, secrecy, and silence. Now a jury must decide what happened inside that house on April 23, 2025. They must weigh the evidence. They must evaluate the testimony. They must determine whether the prosecution's proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Burke's attorneys maintain that the actual evidence will show David Burke didn't murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez. They plan to vigorously defend his innocence at trial. But whatever a jury ultimately decides, one truth remains unchanging. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was a real person. She was funny. She was artistic. She had dreams. She had a life. And that life was stolen from her. No verdict, no trial outcome can erase what was lost. This case is still unfolding in court right now. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you get updates the moment new details emerge. The trial begins in 90 days, and we'll be covering every development